The Premier League curtain raiser, Selhurst Park under the lights, Friday night's football with the eyes of the entire world on Arsenal. They were able to deliver with a gargantuan 2-0 victory as we saw standout performances from William Saliba, crucial saves from Aaron Ramsdale, and the Arsenal moving top of the Premier League. In today's video, let's break it down and find out what were the 5 things that we learnt from this game. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. Welcome back to your boy's channel. It's been a tremendous day. Your boy made his debut on the Premier League, and all I want you guys to do is smash a like if you enjoy the content, subscribe if you are new, and if you want to win yourself the pink Arsenal kit that Arsenal are playing in today, all the details of how to win it are down below in the description. But the first thing that we learned is that William Saliba has arrived, or should I say the Mbappe of centre-backs. 3 years in the making, loans to Marseille, loans to Nice, loans to Saint Etienne, but to have your first competitive start at Selhurst Park, Friday night football, notoriously one of the hardest games for the big teams to go there to lock off their entire attack, concede 0 goals. It feels like Arsenal have a brand new £60 million signing they've made. 21 years of age, but with the way that he plays, the assurity, the composure, the authority, it looked like he was a Premier League veteran over the years, but this was his first ever start, and oh boy, was it perfect. As Saliba says after the game, it helped me to spend 2 years on loan in France because I'm young, we need to play. Now I am back and I hope we will make a good season. And speaking on my own behalf, watching Saliba defend 1v1, I've never felt so calm and assured, because in the best possible way, this guy is a freak. You're not meant to be this calm and composed at 21. You're not meant to play with this level of swagger, and the stats can do the talking. 61 touches, 46 passes completed, a 94% passing accuracy, the best on the pitch, 3 accurate long balls, 1 block, 6 clearances, 7 recoveries, the most of any Arsenal player, 2 ground duels won, and 1 successful dribble. That performance earned him the official Sky Sports Man of the Match, and it was such a good performance that even after the game, one of Arsenal's biggest critics in the media, in Gary Neville, says that he was massively impressed by Saliba and he reminded him of a young Rio Ferdinand. First, it was the Mbappe of centre-backs by the French media. Now you've got young Rio Ferdinands, and with the level of composure that he showed tonight, there's also a lot of fans that are echoing the name Virgil van Dijk. After tonight's performance, he's actually followed Saliba on his official Instagram. He seems to have earned the respect of VVD, and I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised of how good this guy is. There's a reason why he's in the France squad. There's a reason why he was the French Young Player of the Year. And the ball playing excellence there and there of a 94% passing accuracy, that is the level of ball dominance that Arsenal are going to require if Arsenal truly want to become one of the best ball playing teams in the Premier League. He's not an aggressive centre back, and it's almost a perfect foil for Gabriel Magalhaes, who's able to become his far more aggressive self. And Saliba is almost a perfect insurance policy, sitting back and waiting that just in case Gabriel is beaten, in comes the insurance policy, William Saliba comes flying in, and Arsenal are able to clear the ball. And for Arsenal, it also now has to be a priority to extend his contract before the end of the summer transfer window. Moving on to the second thing, and that is the perfect first 30 minutes. The start that Arsenal had to this game, it was electrifying. Fantastic football, sustaining pressure, dominating the possession, the ultra aggressive high press, pinning Crystal Palace back, and Arsenal controlled the tempo of the game, and it gave Arsenal fans almost a template of football that Mikel Arteta intends to play over 90 minutes. From a very successful set piece where Arsenal ping a ball to Zinchenko, who finds a lovely assisted header to Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal were able to score a goal and solidify their status as one of the best set piece teams and corner taking teams in the Premier League. Only Liverpool and Manchester City, with 15 each, have scored more Premier League goals from corners than Arsenal with 14 since the start of last season. Liverpool and Man City are the standard. They are the level that Arsenal have to get to, and as Jamie Carragher says, it felt like we were watching Man City or Liverpool in the first 20 minutes, half an hour, completely dominating Crystal Palace. It was a truly tremendous start and one that we have seen quite a lot in pre-season, and if we can continue to sustain those sorts of levels, I fully expect Arsenal to blow teams out of the park in the early exchanges, especially in games at the Emirates Stadium. We're moving on to the third thing, far from a perfect performance. The first 30 minutes were exceptional, granted, but football is a 90-minute game, so in terms of the entire 90-minute performance, there was a part of me that was low-key disappointed, and likewise I think Mikel Arteta, and as shown by the expected goals, Crystal Palace had 1.23 and Arsenal only had 1.46. It shows that this was a far more even game despite Arsenal dominating the early proceedings, and that's why I think Mikel Arteta is going to grill the Arsenal team in training. And the point that he'll try to bring through to them is the fact that if we want to become the team of a level of a Liverpool or a Man City, we have to learn to sustain our pressure, to be far more composed when the going gets tough. It all starts off towards the end of that first half when Aaron Ramsdale makes a dodgy little kick, and it seemed like that unsettled the entire team. That dominance that Arsenal had in terms of possession disappeared pretty quickly, and I think we became a bit too aggressive in terms of our passing. We were trying to force passes that weren't on, meaning that Arsenal were unable to keep the ball and were losing it far too often. The likes of Xhaka, Partey and Odegaard were unable to impose themselves or keep the ball, and it's in those moments that if you look at Liverpool and Man City, especially Man City, the likes of Rodri and Bernardo Silva are very good at just keeping the ball. That is exactly why they keep the ball for 60% of possession. But in terms of Arsenal in this game, with 56%, Crystal Palace had more than Arsenal. It's not the end of the world because all that matters is a scoreline, but one thing I will say, your upper echelons teams of Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, these teams are far better at keeping the ball, at dominating a possession and controlling games. But it's not just the aggressive nature of our passing, but also the lack of aggression in our pressing. In the first 30 minutes, Arsenal were ultra aggressive in their pressing and they were causing Palace issues. But especially in the second half, Arsenal became too comfortable sitting back, bringing on the pressure onto themselves and trying to hit the game in transitions and trying to counter. The game became too easy for Palace, and yes, look, the quality passes of Joachim Andersen, it's not much you can do about that, and maybe some fans will see this as me being overly critical, but in the first 30 minutes with the standard this team showed they can play at, it shows to us that they are able to play of a high standard, but sometimes whether it's down to inexperience or naivety, they just lose all sorts of composure, and even the key experienced players, your Parteys and Xhakas, is not something that I'm overly concerned about because the most important thing is winning the game, for the next game being against Leicester at the Emirates Stadium. That's a ground where Arsenal are far more emphatic, have far more authority and are far more likely to dominate games. But talk to me about yourselves, and did you have any concerns over the Arsenal performance? On to the fourth thing, and that is not playing to our strengths. The likes of Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko were both outstanding in the first half. Jesus was razor sharp, and in terms of the stats, he completed 6 dribbles, won 10 duels, 10 touches in the opposition box and won the ball in the final third 2 times. And there was no surprise to see that when Arsenal had the ball in the final third, Jesus was causing so many issues. And in terms of the excellence, so was Alexander Zinchenko, as no player was able to make more touches with 55 or create more chances with 2 than Zinchenko in the first half for Arsenal against Crystal Palace. Also getting a cheeky little assist, a very good first half, but in the second half, when Arsenal was sat back and Zinchenko had to defend, it kind of exposed his weaknesses, as he's not the best 1v1 defender unlike Kieran Tierney, and that was something that Arteta was able to identify. He took off Zinchenko, brought on Tierney, and Arsenal saw out the game. But even in terms of Jesus, in the first half Arsenal finding him in dangerous spaces, but in the second half when he was making runs in behind, Xhaka or Partey or Odegaard seemed to be very reluctant to play through balls in behind. It's very obvious that if Arsenal want to maximise the strengths of Jesus and Zinchenko, they have to keep the ball far better, because when we keep the ball, these 2 players are going to be lethal. But in terms of the subs of Nketiah and Kieran Tierney, I think they kind of changed the game for Arsenal, gave us far more control. And in terms of that second Arsenal goal, yes, it was an own goal, but at the same time, if you watch the build-up, it all starts off at the back where Ramsdale pings the ball forward to Kieran Tierney, and then it all falls to Eddie Nketiah, who again looked razor sharp coming off the bench. puts Bukayo Saka in a 1v1 situation, and then it is all down to Bukayo in isolation, causes issues, a dangerous cross in, and a bit of fortune. Overall, it's a game where some fans will say that Arsenal deserved it and others won't. All that truly matters is that Arsenal were able to collect all 3 points. Moving on to the fifth thing, and as more is needed from Martin Odegaard. Look, I have to reiterate, yes, I am very happy that Arsenal won this game, but at the same time, if you're the Arsenal captain, if you're the Arsenal main playmaker, in away games when the going gets tough and Arsenal need control over the game, I expect a lot more from players like Martin Odegaard. And in this game, there was a question going into it, whether Martin Odegaard could show he is able to now play in tough away games. And in this game, he did himself no favours. Very passive with his passing, he wasn't ultimately too creative, and there were also 2 or 3 occasions where he refused to even take a shot. Maybe I'm being overly critical, but now that Arsenal have Fabio Vieira, Martin Odegaard has to be careful. Yes, he might be the Arsenal captain, but Fabio Vieira is a heavily pushed Arteta signing. Vieira is a very aggressive player in the final third and a player that makes more impact. Odegaard is more than able to do so and has all the talent, but in terms of actually doing that on the pitch in tough away games when the going gets tough, there are still quite a few doubts that I have, a lot of Arsenal fans have, and in this game Odegaard wasn't able to answer those questions. It's not the end of the world, and he's still 23 years of age, so he's got a long time to develop. But talk to me down below in the comments, and do you share your boy's concern of Martin Odegaard in these tough physical games away from home? But now, putting the critic to one side, it's time to be shameless. We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. Even though it wasn't a perfect performance, the thing that matters the most at this stage of the season is confidence, is results. We've come a long way since Brentford last season and showed some truly promising signs that they could sustain pressure. In the second half, Palace made us suffer, but ultimately we've shown massive signs of resilience. That this time around, when the going got tough, Arsenal held in, kept the clean sheets. And looking into Arsenal's next 6 games, it's now Leicester City at home, Bournemouth away, Fulham at home, Aston Villa at home, Man United away, and Everton at home. Those next 4 games for me are ultimately very winnable, and for me, I don't see why Arsenal can't get 5 wins out of 5, or at least 4 out of 5. And if Arsenal are able to maximise those points, then who's to say this whole top of the league thing doesn't become a more regular occurrence? But it is now time for you guys to give me your thoughts down below in the comments. How happy are you with the Arsenal performance? Do you have any concerns? And ultimately, what were you able to learn? Well, that is the video there and there. So hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things that we learnt from Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0, back in business, a gargantuan dub, beautiful scenes, and we are top of the league. So we are top of the league. Shameless FC, I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves and in a bit.